Imagine this. Sheryl Swoopes is on TV telling everyone that the Indiana Fever are collapsing, that no one wants to play with Caitlin Clark, that veterans are upset, and that Kelsey Mitchell needs to leave. She has said a lot of things about the Indiana Fever, and they are all wrong. The basketball world is humming that the Fever is over, but then something crazy happens. One by one, star players start signing with Indiana. Natasha Howard announces she's joining. Dananna Boner follows suit. Sydney Coulson jumps on board, and Kelsey Mitchell stays with a hero's welcome from the team. It's like watching a movie where the underdog suddenly becomes the hero. Powerhouse. So if you're a middle-aged or veteran player and this is your last chance to meet someone like that who is drawing attention to your league, why wouldn't you want to meet that person? Why wouldn't that be an attraction to you? Well, Sheryl Swoopes just gave us a master class in foot and mouth syndrome. Let's go back a little and explore the outrageous claims she made about the Indiana Fever. She literally went and made up that there was locker room drama in the Indiana Fever, and all they're talking about is what the vets have said to Kelly Cup and Amber Cox. Don't protect the locker room, make sure everyone is okay, locker room person. Swoopes went on TV and began discussing the Fever as if they were a sinking ship. Can you believe it? She's saying that no one wants to play with Caitlin Clark, the same Caitlin Clark who is breaking records and making the entire basketball world buzz. But wait, it gets even more bizarre because everyone knows that Sheryl Swoopes, for whatever reason, had it out for Caitlin Clark last season in the W, and it was like a backhanded compliment. It was like a reluctant acknowledgement of what she was doing, and there was always a but at the end. As she spins this story about all this drama in the Fever's locker room, she claims that the veterans are upset, the rookies are causing trouble, and it's just one big mess. Then she drops the bombshell. Kelsey Mitchell needs to get out of Indiana ASAP, as if to make everyone leave the state immediately. She actually said that she actually constantly said that Kelsey Mitchell needs to get out of Indiana. Now, you might be thinking, wow, the Fever must be in serious trouble. But she goes on to paint this picture of Indiana as a basketball wasteland, claiming that free agents wouldn't touch the Fever with a 10-foot pole, too much drama, too many problems. It's like she's talking about the plot of a bad sports movie that isn't a real WNBA team. And she kept saying things like, well, I wouldn't want to play Indiana, to which people would respond, well, that's a different thing. If you don't want to play in Indiana, fine. If you never went to Indiana, that's fine. But she would keep going, oh, no, why would any free agent want to play there? She even hinted at some mysterious things that would make players want to play in Indiana. Sheryl Swoopes suggested that there were certain things happening in Indiana that would make other players not want to be a part of that organization. This is not my opinion. She said it. This is where things start to get crazy. Swoopes is out there suggesting that players who might be free agents next year are looking at Indiana and saying, no, that ain't where I want to be. She's essentially trying to tell us that the Fever is so radioactive that no self-respecting player would choose to play there. But I also know players on a team that are like, oh, hell no, we don't want to just be here. Because when you factor in free agency, you have players on this Indiana Fever team who are getting paid in what that is like, no, but players who will be free agents next year. That's not my point. But guess what? As soon as Swoopes started talking trash, people started criticizing her, and the actual players on the Fever, Erica Wheeler and Melissa Smith, didn't have any of it. They stood up and defended their team, and Caitlin Clark saying that there is no locker room drama and that the team is united. I found this strange because Caitlin Clark's profile was so high that I assumed she was the cash cow, golden goose, golden egg, whatever you want to call it. Why wouldn't you want to be around that? Especially after all the hard work and dedication the WNBA has put in over the years. You finally reached a point where you have a star who has made a comeback. This isn't about talent, it's about your appeal. And you finally have a player who pushed boundaries and attracted attention from all directions. Why wouldn't other people come to play? What's even more crazy is that some people began to realize that Swoop may have made this whole thing up. Can you imagine that a WNBA legend would fabricate stories about a team on national television? She has already established a reputation as not being friendly with the league because she was talking about Caitlin Clark and other players, and I'm still baffled by that. But here's the part that will make you laugh and shake your head. If she had tried, the Indiana Fever would have proven her to be completely incorrect. It's almost funny that there were rumors that free agents avoided Indiana like the plague. Let's just say the Fever had some surprises for you. The Fever's players are a huge deal, but it's even more important to show that Sheryl Swoopes was wrong. Remember how Swoopes claimed that no one wanted to play in Indiana? Well, get ready for a plot twist that will make your head spin. The Fever just pulled off a free agent frenzy that has everyone talking. Let's start with Natasha Howard. This isn't just any player, though. She's a three-time WNBA champion. And guess where she chose to sign? Indiana. But here's the kicker. Howard isn't just signing. She's pumped about it, like you. I've never seen someone as eager to play for a team as Natasha Howard is to play essentially with Caitlin. She stated that she's looking forward to running the floor with Caitlin Clark and scoring easy baskets. Howard's words, not mine, are that I'm one of the best interior finishers in women's basketball. Imagine the damage she'll do if Clark feeds her the ball. We're talking about 16 to 18 points per game. Easy. That's not just good. That's game-changing. She's essentially known for her ability to run off the ball, and it's like, oh, I could get these layups. You see all the layups that this Fever team we missing? Oh, yeah, I'm one of the best interior finishers. And the world of women's basketball, I'm just going to run and score. I'm going to average 18, or I'm going to average 16 points a game by just running harder. But wait, there's more. Denana Boner, another star player, decides Indiana is the place to be. You might be wondering why she chose the state, but it turns out that Boner sees something special brewing in Indiana. She's not just coming to play, she's coming to win a title. And let's be honest, with her experience and skills, the Fever just got a lot scarier. Additionally, people don't realize that Natasha Howard has superior defensive rebounding, but I'm like, oh, what better defensive rebounding stew? Let's talk about Sydney Colson now. If you don't know her, you should, because she's a locker room leader and the type of player that every team wants. She had a choice of teams, but where did she end up? Indiana. She's not just any player, she's the glue that keeps a team together, and she chose the Fever over everyone else. That's not just a signing, it's a statement. As much as some people dislike some of the things that surround Sydney Colson, she is a fantastic locker room player, and she always is. She will quickly become a Fever fan favorite. People don't realize that all of these free agents are here to win, and they're here to win right now, today. So much for no one wanting to play with Caitlin Clark. These signings aren't just good news for the Fever, they're a direct shot at everything. According to Swoopes, Howard, Boner, and Colson aren't here to babysit rookies or deal with drama. They're here because they see a team on the rise, a team with a chance to do something special. We're going to have to get back on defense because Natasha Howard, like with Denana Boner, is seeing everything that Indiana is doing for women's basketball. And let's face it, this isn't just about proving Swoopes wrong. It's about the Fever building something big. They're not just signing players, they're putting together a team that can compete for a title right now. Can you imagine what this team will look like on the court today? Clark dishing out assists, Howard dominating the paint, Boner doing a little bit of everything, and Colson keeping everyone focused and fired up. She's just there. Stephanie White is there along with her former coaching staff. And then Sydney Colson. The whole thing about Sydney Colson is that she's a locker room guy who wants to win, and she won't go to a team if they don't go because she might not win. So she would stay with the Aces. She signed for the Liberty for at least a little while. Now, you may be thinking we've seen it all with the Fever's signings, but hold on to your seats because we're about to witness the ultimate mic drop moment. Player Swoopes stated that she needed to leave Indiana, so she just walked into the arena and silenced all of the skeptics. The Indiana Fever are thrilled to have Kelsey Mitchell back on the team, and they threw a lavish welcome party for her yesterday. All of the Indiana Fever staff were present, And when Mitchell enters the building, it's not just any entrance. It's like something from a movie, with the entire Pacers sports staff lining up to form a guard of honor. Can you believe that they're not just clapping politely? They're giving her a hero's welcome. This isn't just a player showing up for work, it's a celebration. But here's where it gets really interesting. Mitchell didn't just stay with the Fever, she resigned. You might be wondering, oh, did she have any other options? Well, there were plenty of teams vying for Mitchell's services. So she could have gone anywhere she wanted, but guess what? Indiana, this is such a toxic environment. And when Kelsey Mitchell re-enters the Pacers sports staff, giving her a due freaking guard of honor when she re-enters the stadium, let's take a moment to consider this. I've taken her skills to any team in the league, but rather than fleeing, as Swoopes had suggested, she ran right back into their arms, and the Fever threw a red carpet for her return. Now, you may be wondering, what does this really mean? It means everything. This wasn't just a player signing a contract. It was Mitchell and the Fever making a statement louder than any press conference ever could, saying, "We're here, we're committed, and we're ready to prove everyone wrong." Kelsey Mitchell is back with the Indiana Fever, and she joins me. You're grinning broadly. Oh, Indiana is my second home, so for me was like second nature. Of course, the contractual stuff is always discussed, but I consider Indiana to be home, and coming back to play with players like Kayin and Aaliyah and our group period is just so much fun for me. Don't believe me, but Mitchell herself was giddy with excitement about sticking with the Fever. She talked about her journey with the team, her desire to win, and how excited she is about growing with this squad. You can feel the energy. This isn't a player settling for less. This is an all-star wagering on herself and her team. Hello, everyone. I'm Kelsey Mitchell here, and I'm a Fever girl once more. He has been kind to me, and I hope I can contribute and give the same. So here's her being a Fever girl. And let's not forget what this means for the Fever as a whole. Remember all those people who said that no one wanted to play in Indiana? Well, Mitchell just blew that narrative out of the water. She's not just staying, she's leading the charge, telling all the other players in the league that Indiana is the place to be again. Unless you are in the building, you have no idea what the hell is going on, and you have no idea what's happening.